It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your two best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert. Oh my God.
Damn, Daddy, can I taste it?
We are back at Circle Alert. Max
Look at Tim.
and Ben.
He's like, what have I gotten myself into?
I'm so charmed by the little drawing of you two.
Yes.
Who was doing the singing?
Oh, that
That's
was
Max.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was charming, absolutely charming.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank
Yeah,
you. And
I
love
was
to hear
singing
that.
along. I was singing along.
we have Professor Tim Wilson here from UK Season 2.
Yes.
We
one
have-
of our all-time favorites.
Yes, we have Alex Lake from US Season 1, and we are here for our Circle Season 4 cast assessment. And of course, we have Max and Ben, your esteemed hosts. The Big Rascals are here to bring it all together.
Yes.
Well,
Guys, how have you been? It's been not too long since we've seen Alex, but Tim, what's been going on in your life since UK Circle?
Oh goodness, it's been a helter skelter. Do you have those over here? Over there? Anyway, it's been one of those things where you go around some sort of strange sort of column. And
didn't the Beatles have a song Helter Skelter? So we get it.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We all get it. Anyway, it's been one of those, and I've been in hospital, and I'm now out, and I'm sort of, I think I'm recovering. I'm recovered.
Congratulations.
Here.
Yeah, I
That's
think I'm
always good to
recovered. But you know, and I haven't really stopped working. I'm still sort of pressing ahead, despite association with the Circle. And I take a keen interest in it. You know, I like the concept of the show. So you know, I'm very interested to see where this goes. I hope it doesn't go down another dark hole. But I have a feeling there's no innuendo intended there. I have a feeling that it's likely to fall into something, fall from grace, like the last series, which I think had a lot of production manipulation in it, which I just don't like that. I think there's enough manipulation in the real world, and if you give the stars of the show enough rope, they'll hang themselves anyway. They don't need the
casting choices will do it for you.
The casting choice is what it's all about, and I think if you have vibrant people, Alex, and
Tim.
yeah, exactly. You know, you've got a recipe, and and then you just have. It's like I've gone back to some teaching. And I used to teach teachers how to teach when I was in my university in Moscow. I suppose I should say that very quietly now, shouldn't I? Or very quickly, Bistra. So when I was in my university in an unnamed place, I remember one of the lessons I used to give was about whether or not you ask open questions or closed questions. If you ask a closed question, you're going to get one specific answer. And I feel that's where the Circle has gone. It's gone into sort of closed questions and a sort of closed, sort of hermetic universe where you can predict what's going to happen, because producers are very simple people. They don't get out into the real world, so they don't have very much world experience. And what you want is real people from the real world to do their craziness, because real people are extraordinary. So if you ask an open question, you have to be brave enough to go along with the journey that you're going to be taken on. And believe me, anybody you ask an open question to, and if they're sort of a vibrant individual, you know, you're locked in their sort of in their enthusiasm for the rest of the evening. And I saw that as being the Circle. That and when I was offered the Circle, I was asked if I would be in a social experiment, and B a television show about friendship, and I thought, yes, I'm in for that.
Yeah,
but it seems to have departed from both of those. It's no longer a social experiment. It's social manipulation. And
what was your experience with reality TV before that?
None. I didn't. I hadn't even watched Strictly Come Dancing, or what you would call Dancing with the Stars. I knew nothing. I was a reality TV virgin. So, and the Circle people were keen to point out that I knew nothing about hashtags and emojis. But I mean, that was the small issue. I knew nothing about reality TV. I knew about TV because I was producing. I was producing titles and things for the BBC and Channel 4 and Channel 5 and some stuff in America. And I love doing all that. And so I understood how television works. And I understood, there's a camera. I'm going to be ready for that. And, I look very good from this side or not. And Bay was there to guide me. So when I was told I could have an animal, and I took Bay along. I thought, Bay is just perfect. I would much prefer to have taken my older cat, who's since died.
Now, why don't they do that on the American version?
Do they not? Well, I think.
No, I don't think we've ever had pets
across the Atlantic.
I think it's importing pets is very difficult. It's
very
funny.
Yeah.
One of my producers,
import people, but not animals.
One of my producers came up from London and brought her Parisian cat Ronnie. Shout out to Ronnie, the Parisian cat. And I'm like, oh, just bring Ronnie here, drop him off. We'll hang out. It's fine. And she said no. She would not share.
The only thing it's missing is cats.
Oh, what's happening there?
I have a soundboard.
I see.
Max has a bevy of sounds that
you see, when you've got a cat to talk to, you're not talking to the wall or to the television. You don't. I felt that there was an opportunity, to talk to another animate being.
Yeah.
You
didn't go stir crazy because you had your cat with you. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have gone stir crazy anyway. It was the most eventful and charming month that I'd had for a long time. I can be very negative about the experience, but never about the filming and never about the actual show. I think the show has changed, and I wouldn't be positive about some of the changes, but I think the basic concept of the show, as conceived by Tim, I think is spectacular. It's a wonderful idea. And in terms of production, you give the production company a wonderful opportunity because you don't have that problem of sort of 10 people in the same room all desperate to say something and potentially to take your story in a direction production doesn't want. You can edit people in your own time, or in real time. And in the case of our season, it was pretty well immediate. It was filmed and it was broadcast probably the same day or the day after. So there wasn't much chance for them to make big decisions. I mean, there were certain storylines they decided they didn't want, and then when they became important later on, that they had a problem. And so for example, I had these wonderful conversations with a fellow called Cy, who I still absolutely adore. He was a farmer, and so we had these detailed conversations about Massey Ferguson's, and in fact, in the British Parliament, there's just been a man. A politician who's been caught watching pornography in the chamber of, and he wasn't looking at Boris Johnson, but I mean, or I could use any part of that name, couldn't I? And but anyway, apparently he found the pornography because he was looking for tractors. Well, I keyed into my phone the other day, Massey Ferguson, and I didn't get any pornography. So I don't know how he got it and I didn't. Yeah. But anyway, he's now resigned. It's a shame. Yeah. So it is a shame. But I had the most
tractor pornography is going to be the next big thing.
What can I say? Maybe
I can tell you now. I think he was probably. I'm so sorry.
I don't think he was looking for a tractor. He was looking for a plow.
I was going to say, Alex, I plow a very straight furrow, and did when I was 5 years old. I was gripping the wheel and just going hell for leather. I didn't know how to stop, and I still don't. So I've never learned how to drive a car. But anyway, the point about this was I had these lovely conversations about Massey Ferguson's and combine harvesters and so on with Cy and castrating cows and pigs and goats. I was very good with the knife. and yeah, and then and none of this was broadcast. You might say not surprisingly, but when Cy was blocked by me, he decided he wanted to come and see me, and I think production was sort of horrified. Why would he go and see Tim? Because we've had these wonderful conversations, because we shared a childhood.
Sure.
And so
we've seen that.
So we had nothing to say.
We've seen that a little bit in the Netflix version of The Circle. We see later on that there were alliances that we didn't even know about throughout the show. One of the biggest things that Max and I like about the show, and I know Alex does too, is like the strategy aspect of it is really appealing. It seems like to you, the social aspect and the social experiment was the biggest part of it for you. But when you got into the game, were you getting into game mode? Were you strategizing at all? Were you seeing it as a game in any way?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, I thought my primary objective was to forge friendships and to keep that circle together. But that's what I thought the game was.
Sure.
I mean, if somebody had told me it was all about strategy, then I would have been strategic. I like a good game of chess, and I can be vicious. But but I just don't think that's not what I was sold.
Sure.
And I liked the idea that by trying to become friends, you have all this sort of underhand strategy anyway. And
right.
You know, I'm not sure I'm not sure everybody playing games is necessarily good TV. In the end, there's a limit to how many games, how many positions you can adopt, and it just gets dull after a while.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, there are funny times when you get caught out, Alex.
You know, yeah. I mean, I was playing a game, but I mean, I still tried to bring as much sincerity and genuineness as possible.
Oh, you were lovely.
You know, I don't think I was putting on a farce or an act.
No, you were putting on pajamas. You were putting on pajamas, and it was a charming sort of fashion moment.
Those are just regular trousers. I wear those in the day to day.
Yeah, and I wear what I wear regularly. Somebody, there's a lad in my school, lovely fellow. He told me last night that he'd seen an article or some sort of pictures which said, "This is what Tim looks like in real life, and this is what he looks like on the show." And he said, "I don't believe that. You're my teacher. I see you every day, and you look exactly like you look like in the show." And I think, yeah, the only difference is I've been told I'm not allowed to wear my hat in school, but I have on one or two occasions.
Yeah.
You know. I just think if you try and be yourself, then you're probably safer on television. If you try and be somebody else, you're doomed.
Yeah.
I initially wanted to be very political. I wanted to be Mrs. May, who was you wouldn't know who she is. She was one of our sort of lesser charismatic prime ministers. She was like Boris. She was like Mr. Trump in a dress.
Oh yes, and, we know Theresa May. Yeah,
she was the lady who wanted to run through fields of wheat, and I thought the problem is there's not going to be very much wheat around, and. You know, I can make a lot of sandwiches, but that's not going to really. It's not going to really be enough. You know, what are you doing? I'm making sandwiches because I'm looking for wheat germ, or something. I thought I could sit in the apartment and weep, as opposed to weep over the mess that I'd made of our country. But I didn't think that would. I didn't think I'd last more than about 3 days with that. And I was so relieved when they said you can be yourself, because that's not believable. And I thought, yeah, absolutely, bang on.
This has got to be the most British conversation I've ever had in my life.
I'm so sorry. But Ben, Max, would you like to be on the circle? Come on. You could be each other.
No, absolutely not.
Would you not? Who would? No. Let's replay that. Who would you be if you were on the circle?
Why not you? We could be you.
You could be me. You've got the beard for it.
I don't think we could be Tim.
Nobody could be Tim, though. Yeah, he could. He's too unique. He'd be too difficult.
I strongly suggest that there might be somebody who's going to try and be more like me in the circle coming up. I think there'll be a sort of Tim substitute.
Well, we've already seen one for Alex.
You can't.
Have we? Who was the Alex substitute?
Should we get into this
Well,
cast?
we're gonna get to
assessment?
that.
I think we really have to. I mean, in my case, you know what? Yeah, well, we just wait to see. And we did have a Tim substitute in one of the other past things with Father. Was it Father Tom or something?
Yeah, Father Tom was a little bit of.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't
something.
think I don't think the production get much beyond changing a vowel, but there we are.
Right.
Problems with your vowels, but then I've been in hospital to deal with all that.
Before we get into this cast assessment, I just have one more question because the UK version of this show was canceled so sadly. We were such huge fans of it. What did you think about it getting canceled, Tim?
Oh, I've been speaking so much. We should come back to this a little bit
Okay.
later. It's becoming the Tim show, and although I'm very flattered to be given some purpose again in life, I think
Yes.
Come
Well,
on,
you
Alex.
are. I will say you are.
Alex was the initial guest on the show. Alex, how are you doing? How have you been since probably yesterday when we had you on the podcast?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Alex, how do you feel about the UK season getting canceled?
Oh, I
Sorry.
thought that was water.
Yeah, it was raining falling on my head.
There's a Barbara
I don't know, I feel
Streisand
about the UK
reference.
being mixed. It's sad, but I mean, there's no reason why. I mean, it's fine.
Well, they're keeping the United States version British as possible because
Spice
Girls are going to be on this season.
We don't know that. Look, they fooled me with Lance Bass. I'm not going to fall for it again.
You're right.
I think Victoria Beckham is going to be on this season. Just
Yeah,
Victoria.
definitely.
Highly unlikely.
Just Victoria. She's the only one that would bother coming on the show. She's the one with she has nothing to do.
I think it's going to be Kylie Minogue playing as all 5 Spice Girls.
Oh, okay.
It's a twist.
I think it might be a man trying hard to be all of the Spice Girls.
That would be pretty good.
That
She's
would
like,
be fun.
I'm
That
all
would be
5
fun.
Spice
Probably
Girls.
Prince Charles realizing his dream. I'm all of them.
But yeah, hypothetically, this new season on Netflix, I don't know if it was actually billed as like a crossover, like American/British season.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
so far the people we've been touted with are all Americans. So
Yeah.
presumably, the moment the season gets going, we're going to have Brit after Brit thrown in. But
No,
that's
we
because
won't.
they're-
We're gonna
they're
have the
cheap
Spice
and live around
Girls,
the
and
corner.
that's
So
Spice
the
Girls is
difference,
their take on British American cast.
right?
So
I see.
the 2 silhouettes that we were shown of the Spice Girls were of Mel B and Emma Bunton. So Scary Spice and Baby Spice. I'm guessing that they're just
Right.
going to come on and be like running a challenge. I'm guessing they're not going to
Yeah, it might be like
compete.
Lil
Like
Yachty.
the Lil
like
Yachty
when
thing.
when Richard was on Tim's season. It was
Ah,
like
yes.
Oh, right,
a
yes.
limited set of time.
Yeah, maybe
There's
for
no
1
way
week.
they can actually win.
Yeah, they're going. Are you suggesting they're going to spend the entire budget on the Spice Girls?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
I
they
think
did
it's highly
raise
unlikely.
the prize, so maybe they did up the money.
You know, $150,000 is barely £100,000. So I think they've just brought the prize up to parity.
Yeah. They
and
canceled the British
it's-
version so they could.
Exactly.
I mean, with the
exactly.
housing market the way it is these days, we gotta up that prize a little bit. Gotta up
It's
that
just
prize.
it's just a cost of living adjustment.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I'm glad they
Um,
did. I'm glad they upped it.
No, well, I think I the prize is one thing. I think I would have been quite happy to have played in the game, or to have played in the show, to have been on the show without
Yeah.
a prize. I think the prize is almost irrelevant, and the obsession that the show goes into, as a lot of these shows go into. What would you do? What would you do to win the prize? And the British last season, I think, really scraped the barrel by putting out an advert. What would you lose to win, or something?
Sure.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, why would one want to be so cruel and vicious just for £100,000?
No, I want to
it
have
doesn't make
fun
any
and
sense.
win the money.
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
goal, was to have fun. and win money.
If you're good enough to be cast, then you're good enough to be. You're clearly bewitching television, and you want and that's what we want to see. We don't want to see people just running around the place looking for money. If that's the case, we just have
that could be a good show.
See, I don't know. See, I think this is where we differ. See, me and Ben love that stuff. Like Tim, I gotta say, Tim, I love watching people just kind of scrounging around, looking under couch cushions, looking for money.
That's called Fagin and Oliver Twist.
Yes, I'm a big musical theater guy. I love. You got to pick a pocket or two. I love it.
You have indeed. I mean, I'd love to do that, but it's,
you'd be an amazing Fagin.
I'd love to do Fagin.
I could be the Artful Dodger. It'd be incredible.
I'd like to do a season.
I'd do
of
anything
Fagin,
for
and
you,
I could
Tim.
do Topol. I could do Fiddler on the Roof. If you're getting really bored, we'll bring out our Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler is Ben's favorite musical.
That's my favorite musical ever. I love Fiddler on the Roof. It's
No,
so
I
good.
mean, and my hat is Israeli, so I think I'm well on the way.
Yeah, there you go.
And if I give up with my Mrs. Doubtfire impressions, I can take on my Topol impressions.
Yeah, your
Right.
Tevye.
Right.
Yeah, my Tevye, my Tevye is to die for. But oi.
All right, shall we get into our assessment?
Let's do it.
Of
Of
this
the
cast?
great.
I'm
American
excited.
Do remember
musical
we
theater.
have to come back to my assessment of the program in general. But yeah, let's assess our cast.
So you haven't done that yet?
No, I really haven't. You teased me with it. So I'm teasing back.
If you want to write an essay as well, we can post that on our Instagram page.
Oh, I would be so excited. I'd be so
Yes,
excited.
we will
There'd
get
be no end. No end.
So our first cast member, I have a sound bite that we're gonna play from the cast reel video, and I have a little
I've not
picture
seen the
here.
So
We have a little picture. Here's Alyssa, and here
Alyssa, 27 from New York.
Yes, and here is her little sound clip.
Hi, Circle. I'm Alyssa. I am 27 years old from New York, and I'm an assistant to a sex coach. I love helping people have amazing sex, and I can very comfortably say the word vagina. Vagina, 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 vagina!
Okay.
Okay.
So she knows how to make an entrance.
Yes.
Yes.
And she can say the word vagina.
Can
can't
everyone
do
here
that.
comfortably
I
say the
can't.
word vagina? I just want to make sure.
I don't think I can do that. I can't.
Tim!
No, I can't.
No, I really can't. There are some things I just can't do on television. or
We
even
need
on
to get
podcast.
you guys a sex therapist so you can say the word
Yes.
vagina.
Well, I can do something which sounds like it, which would be I'd find on a British coin. On British coin it says Elizabeth II Regina.
There you go. That's
And an
just
FD.
brush past the R and everybody
does.
will think you're
Yeah,
Right.
I could. A lot of British people have problems with their R's.
Yeah, I had to go to speech therapy for my R's.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
sorry.
Well, your
I'm-
R's are beautiful now, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I can really curl the tongue in the back of my mouth to.
You'd have to go and see Alyssa if you need to do that anymore. Alyssa, I'm sure would have advice for you.
So, I think that a lot of people have sex in life, I think that
I think that's a safe assumption.
The
Yeah.
show usually likes to cast one person who is a virgin.
Mitchell's still a virgin.
But most people on the cast will be sexually active. So I think she will
Yes.
be able to bond with people over being like, I'm a sex coach. I can help you. Well, what do you guys think about that?
But there could be problems. She might have trouble connecting with the lone virgin of the group if there is one. That could be a problem for her.
We'll run down through who we think the virgin is.
Do you know what I think is the best thing in the circle? It's when they get two people in one room and they really spark off one another.
Yeah.
And I like that, particularly when they've already been thrown out and they come back. And in my season, it was Joyce. I can't remember who was it in your season, Alex. Did you have two people together? So
in my season, Ed and Tammy. Mother son combo.
Oh yes, but that
the Virgin's brother and mother that was mentioned a second ago.
Yes, that wasn't quite as entertaining as the British season afterwards had. I can't remember who it was, but Father Tom.
Yeah,
and that was just thrilling. I thought it was a great bit of casting and a great bit of theatre. Though I did feel that I did feel sort of I felt there was a lot of me in it. But there we are. But yes, no. You see, do you think the Circle, Big Brother is coming back to British television? Do you think? Oh, Kaylin Rushing is saying she's not a big fan of double teams. I like them by themselves because they're so candid and themselves. Yeah, but you see, if you've got somebody else there pushing you along, sometimes the people who were so candid on their own are even more candid when they're with somebody else. And I think in each case where they've been with someone else, they've always been so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people who are designed to be alone. We're going down a slightly onanistic route here, aren't we? I'm sure Elisa will have something to say about that.
We with Father Tom, and then we have seen some in the U.S. version, like with Jack and Lisa. Really, they became
great.
A lot more fun. I thought they were more boring when they were by themselves.
Wonderful.
When they were together, they were fun. I really
they were
wonderful
together.
Yep.
No, I was going to say. You asked me a short. Am I allowed to talk about the sort of general background while we're?
Sure.
Oh, okay. You're very kind and very indulgent. No, when my season finished, and I thought, I had a really tough time after the show, and I think that was because I felt there was a lot of manipulation going on. I didn't really have too much time when people called out at me in the street. I thought it was rather charming, and I thought it was my job. But at one point, I think I was a little vocal about not liking the way the show was going.
Mm-hmm.
And production called me and asked me if I would like to be a producer on the next series, and I said, well, yes, of course I would, but only if you make it nicer. and they in fact
that's such a Tim thing to say.
Well, they offered this to me 3 times. It was very biblical, really. I'm offering you this to you again. Would you like to be a producer? We'd like you to be in 3 times, in 3 different ways. And in 3 different ways, I think I rejected. Each time I said I'd love to do it. You could put me on. You could drop me in a sort of Doctor Who like way, or I could go in as Mrs. Doubtfire. But I think they weren't going to budge on these twists and turns, which I dislike intensely. I think the twists and turns would occur naturally, and I don't like the production twists and turns, which of course occur on Big Brother.
Your pitches just rely entirely on casting.
It relies entirely on casting. If you cast well, you've got a really good program. But what I was going to say is, if Big Brother comes back to the UK, I think the Circle is probably squared off, really. It's very interesting. People sometimes come up to you, or they come up to me, and they give you a funny handshake, and you think, oh, you're very arthritic, and then they say, are you on the square? And I said, no, I'm on the Circle, and I think they're asking me whether or not I'm a Mason. But anyway, but I think if the whole show became nicer, I'm not a Mason. I think if the whole show became nicer, it would get my vote. But I'm not holding my breath, really. And I think the show has fallen from grace. That's the problem. And I think it will be submerged.
I think
the fake realism of Big Brother.
I think there's still humanity in the show. I mean,
I think there is.
Even if they throw all the
and that is why, Adam, I will look at it. That is why I hope you'll have me back to sort of make positive comments as opposed to this sort of negative gloss. This negative gloss is just the spray we sprinkle. It's like the suggestion that in a few weeks' time we're going to have the tooth fairy. That means you're going to the dentist. But in the meantime, there is the offer. There is the offer of the tinkling of little coins under your pillow.
I certainly agree that good casting can carry a show through all the way. Max and I, we're big Survivor fans. We always say that our favorite seasons of Survivor, it's not always like top tier gameplay, but it's good casting. It's always just comes from a really good cast.
I've met
it's not so much the twist.
Survivor. I've met people from Survivor now, and I think they've also suffered from the same sort of malaise as people have been on the Circle. It's a tough deal. You go on these shows, and then there's a sort of it's very. A friend of mine was asked if he would take a backstage role, and he turned down the show because he said it was predicated on deceit. And I thought afterwards, I mean, I taught this fellow, so and then we met later and discussed things, and I thought, he's right. A show that is predicated on deceit is then going to deceive, because people find it very difficult to do something new, and so one shouldn't really be surprised that it's going to be tough after the show.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have found that, and I'd like to reach out and say, if anybody has been on these shows, whatever they are, Big Brother, The Circle, anything which is predicated on deceit and manipulation, they're going to have a difficulty sorting out what is reality again.
Sure. Yeah.
And reality is centered in you. And so, I'd love to see a show which is centered in you. And that's what I thought. That's what I thought The Circle was, and that's what I think its first season could have been, or was in many ways.
Right.
And what the second season definitely started out as.
That first season of UK Circle was amazing. One of my favorites.
But imagine putting Alyssa in that first season or that second season in the UK, or with you, Alex. What would you have done if you'd come across Alyssa? I say that very carefully.
Alyssa, a sex therapist? I don't know. I mean, me as Adam, I probably would have said something really off-putting and offensive and not won anybody's favor, but I'm sure I would get along with Alyssa.
You would have said something off-putting about her vulva pillow. Is that you would have said? Yeah.
You said something about what arouses you.
Yes, I've seen a little clip with her playing around with a pillow.
A vulva pillow. It's a vulva pillow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, right. Is that
are you comfortable saying vulva, Tim?
It sounds like a car. It sounds like my car, actually.
Oh, yes.
Your Volvo.
Yeah, my Volvo. But I'm not. I did actually spend a bit of my misspent youth drawing anatomical drawings for textbooks, and I quite enjoyed that. Really, I don't think I got. I think I was quite north of the lower abdomen. But
that's what you consider misspent youth, drawing anatomical drawings for textbooks.
Look, no, Max. What was so lovely was when I went into hospital and had surgery, I knew exactly what they were doing because I hadn't annotated all the bits with the sort of Greek names. So I didn't know what all the various bits were called, but I knew where they were, and that
right.
Quite so it was not misspent youth.
Oh, I think it would have been better spent if I'd actually put the words in.
Okay.
I only did half a job, and I'm grateful that my surgeon actually did the job properly. But I can't imagine that Alyssa is likely to be catfishing with a name like that, or with not a name like that, with a job like that. She's got to come out as a real, this is what my job is. My job is a sex therapist.
Yes,
an assistant
to a sex therapist, to a sex coach. It says not sex
coach.
So
yes, that is a very sitcom type job.
Which bit does she? So she helps. She holds something.
I think she
she holds a pillow and.
Well, Spice Girls is the theme of this season, right? So she spices up sexual relationships.
Yes. She's also so it says I've done some research. She works as a sex and relationship coach. she's also a relationship coach in partnership with the Sexual Health Alliance. She says this in her Instagram bio. Yeah. So,
well, I'm looking forward to hooking up with her on Instagram. No, I mean, you know, I think she radiates delight. I would see her as a winner immediately, because I don't think anybody would believe her job, because it's already slightly convoluted. I mean, what does she do? That would be my first question.
She said on an Instagram story earlier this week that the sex therapist that she was working under was a somatic sex therapist. So that's like hands-on work, right?
Somatic. So is that's not semantic, is it? It's
like they're
not semantic, but somatic.
It means something to do
so
with the
like
body,
they're having sex and they're like push.
No, it's just
pushing.
Max, it's just a Greek word. Get used to it. You know, just do a bit of Greek.
They're guiding. They're
pushing the.
I don't.
They're put right.
It may be animated in some way.
I don't know. I mean,
do you think they wear gloves?
Are they like? Is the person and she's the assistant? So is the sex coach like scalpel and she like hands them the tools?
They wear scrubs.
I think that's exactly the point. She hands him the tools. Could I have that big? Could I have that big instrument over there?
What kind of tools? What kind of tools do you think they're using?
The mind boggles, doesn't it?
Hammer,
hammer, scalpel. Those are the only tools that are used.
Pillow.
Humans haven't invented a lot of tools, guys. No, Hammer, scalpel, wheel,
I think we deal with
fire.
what we got. I'm so pleased I came on here.
Alyssa's listening to this, be like, "Wow, they've really assessed me as a cast member.
Really got
they really value my profession."
It's all in the hands. It's all in the hands. But now this week you're going to do a lot of homework.
Oh look, Alyssa.
Alyssa's here. She does wear gloves. Alyssa is here and she confirms that she wears gloves.
LMAO.
Laughing my ass off. Alyssa, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Alyssa, hello. Hello, this is you. And did you catfish, or are you? Were you yourself? I hope you were yourself. And you got.
I think somebody like
is
Alyssa
that a dog?
has to be herself.
Is that a dog? It is a dog, isn't it?
She's holding a cute little puppy.
Yep, she's holding a
picture.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Alyssa, thank you for joining us. We can't wait to interview on Reality Alert when the season is over. Yes,
we're here for you every inch of the way. I think you're going to win, Alyssa. You already know.
You saw the first cast member, and you said that's the one that's.
I think she's lovely, and I think they'd say to you, don't catfish. You are completely improbable as you are, and wonderful. That's what they said to me, and look how far I got.
That's really sweet. Yeah.
But let's see.
You'd definitely have won if you took the dog in with you.
Yes.
So season 2, US had Bryant, the breath worker, and
oh yes,
that causes doubt. I mean, the breath worker didn't play, so would the assistant sex therapist play?
Oh,
yeah. Sometimes the occupation can be so unique that people think it's a lie. Yeah.
Yes,
I think I would trust a sex therapist. I would trust a sex therapist more than a breath worker.
I think the two may be slightly. Yeah, it's like the two may be slightly compatible. There's a lot of breath work in.
For sure.
Therapy. I'm looking forward to a hands-on explanation.
Yes, Alyssa says, "Thank you for the vote of confidence, you guys. I promise I will explain my job sometime."
Yes. And we hope to meet the puppy as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We're going to do a whole interview with Alyssa where we.
I was going to say I want to stroke the puppy, but that's
questions.
going to come out wrong, isn't it? Yeah. Right.
Tim has already said his feeling on Alyssa's chances to win this thing. Max, Alex, what do you guys think? Can she go the distance? right in front of Alyssa. She's
Yeah.
Alyssa has winner written all over her. Yeah.
I mean,
okay. Yeah, she seems very social. She
Being
seems,
forward is good. Forward is good.
yeah.
I think she'll play a good social game. Yeah.
And she's
Will
coming
also
here
be-
immediately. She's coming here immediately. She knows. No. She knows a good thing when she sees it. So there you are. Why? We don't have any women here. This is a little bit sort of. Our assembly is slightly skewed.
Let's bring someone on right
Alex,
now.
Alex, here is your opportunity. We need a more feminine appearance.
I mean,
we're rather constrained by all having beards.
Really? Yes.
But there we are. Anyway, who's our next contender?
Hold on,
Okay.
Alex was about to say something.
Yeah,
I don't
kinda
know.
wanted to hear
I think
Alex's
her
response.
being a therapist of any sort is a real strength, and I'm assuming she's in this like starting lineup of 5 or 6 or however many they throw in at first. So that's
Of course she is. Yeah.
That's also like super. I mean, some of those people have to go home, but it's if you're able to communicate, it's a big leg up.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I could see her getting very far.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Me
Who's
too.
next, Max?
Let's see who is next. All right.
Your technology is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
This is Elisa.
Up
Pretty in
next,
pink.
we have coming up. We have. Oh, look!
It's
who we-
Andy Samberg.
It's Andy Samberg is coming up. Wow.
Who is this?
He's
Andy Samberg.
he's the lead actor of Hot Rod.
Oh, we got
Hot Rod.
Brew. It's Brew.
My name is Josh Brubaker. I'm 25 years old, but you can call me Brew. I'm a radio host living in West Hollywood, California. Like that wink?
Wait a minute.
It's the best thing I can do.
He's-
If I could describe
winking.
myself, I'm like a golden retriever. I'm trustworthy, I'm loyal, I'm kind. I'm pretty popular online. I have 3.5 million followers. If I can be popular on social media, I think I can be popular in the circle.
He's a TikTok boy, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
called Josh, in fact, in real
He says
life.
it's the CEO of TikTok Radio.
Is he really?
That's what he
I don't know
says.
what TikTok radio is. Oh, that's
It's not a real thing.
That's a satellite radio station.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Is
it's like Channel 4 on Sirius XM.
Right. Well, I know he is a radio host.
Well,
And then he
he's-
TikToks himself like being
a
on the
host.
radio.
Yes.
he TikToks
Sounds right.
himself.
Yes.
Is he related to Brubaker from the movie Brubaker starring Robert Redford from 1980? The American prison.
Isn't that all
Probably.
about being a criminal and being behind?
Uh-huh.
Well, that would work for being imprisoned in the circle.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Maybe
You're
he's
locked in
catfishing
here for a
as-
month.
Maybe
it
he's
is
catfishing as
uncanny
Robert
though
Redford.
how much he looks like Andy Samberg. It's
Yeah.
it's
Who is
wild.
Andy Samberg? I don't.
He was on Saturday Night Live for
No,
years.
never seen it. Never
Yeah,
seen it.
it's
You
not-
see, you're in a different country to me. I'm obsessed with Andy Samberg. LOA, always have been. Kaylin, how lovely. Oh my God! Shut the what? Shut the. I can't read the rest of that. I can't read the rest of that. I'm so pleased somebody knows who Andy Samberg is. Andy Samberg. Andy, if you're there, get in touch. I want to know who you are.
No.
But
He's-
Josh is a very good substitute.
He's our David Mitchell.
He's
That's-
married
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, you don't know David
to-
Mitchell?
I do know David.
Oh,
Mitchell,
okay, good.
absolutely. I know David.
married to
You're
noted
very good.
American harpist Joanna Newsom. If you're
Yes.
into
Oh, there you go.
Baroque pop music of the United States.
Very good. Very good.
Baroque
They
pop.
live in Charlie Chaplin's old LA house.
Really?
Wow.
Yes, you can look it up. It's a beautiful old home.
Yeah, I bet.
When
Well,
I lived in
Charles
LA, I
lived
found
in-
out that Laurel and Hardy lived in my apartment building.
Oh.
No, together.
I think so. Best buds.
Well,
Did you look out the window and see them like shuffling?
Piano.
Right,
up
yeah,
the
they're
stairs?
ghosts.
So
Yeah.
I think the most exciting part about Brew being on the show is the potential for him coming on our podcast and interviewing him because he has so
Yes.
many Instagram followers. Right?
Absolutely.
He also
100%.
has a professional podcast mic.
Yeah, that he would
Yes.
sound really good on the
would sound
podcast.
really good.
Brew, where are you in the chat? We know.
Yeah,
you're
Brew.
here.
Come through, Brew.
And he's quite young, isn't he?
He's 25, I believe.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, I've got him down here as 24
Oh,
and living in Hollywood. Is that all possible?
I see
yes,
him.
he is living in Hollywood. Yes.
I see
Living
him
the
being
dream.
similar to Nick Uhlenhout from last season. In the preview for this first group of episodes, we see him being in a throuple, they say, already to begin with. He's already flirting with everybody in the cast. That could get him into trouble, or it could go the Nick Uhlenhout type of direction where it could be really good for him.
I didn't think I'd ever say this, but I think I'd rather see Nick back on the show. I'm sure
Hashtag, my lord.
I'm sure he's very lovely. I'm sure he's very charismatic. I don't know how much charisma can translate over text, because the thing is he's a radio commentator. So his job is to talk, and when you're in these circle rooms, you're just seeing text.
Yep.
Right.
It's a whole different. Yeah.
Yeah, he can't send TikToks out to the rest of the circle. Right?
Yeah.
No. But
Yeah,
I mean, that'd be
TikTok, from what I don't do TikTok. There's a fellow who's trying to encourage me to do it, a lad at school, and he thinks I should do TikTok, but I'm really quite frightened of it. TikTok is a visual medium, and you've got to come up with a new visual thing every time, haven't you? So I think Brew. I think Brew must be a sort of magician if he's able to keep coming up with visual imagery like that.
Sure.
So
I don't think his TikToks are super visually dynamic. I think his TikToks rely on his personality. I've only watched a handful. Sorry.
Well, his personality does leap out at you even from that introduction. I'm afraid I don't see him as the automatic winner. I've already got Elisa.
I don't think he's going to win. I think he might make it a week, but I don't think he's going to win.
So you think he's going to get blocked from the circle pretty quick?
I mean, I hope he doesn't win because he seems to already be flush with cash.
Oh, come on, Max! It's not the cash that counts; it's the playing.
I mean, he was on SNL. He was in Palm Springs. He's got so much money.
He lives in Charlie Chaplin's house.
I don't even know why he's on the show. He's a huge star.
So he's the person who lives in Charlie Chaplin's house, not Andy Samberg.
No, not Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg does.
So it's Brew who lives in Charlie Chaplin's house.
No, Andy Samberg does.
Oh right. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, there you are. Right. Okay.
No.
Maybe Brew will reach Andy Samberg level fame, but it's hard when you already have that face. Like that face already exists.
It's already there. Yeah.
And some might say
that's
Andy
why he chose
Samberg
radio.
But wasn't there a social media person on your season, Alex? Or was that the season after you?
I mean, not
there
on
was
my
a social
season.
media person on one of the seasons, on one of the recent seasons, and didn't she do quite well?
Rachel Ward is a social media person. She was
nothing like
she
his
picked up
level.
after the show for sure. I think everybody's on social media. That's just something that the youth do.
But you mean as like, you know who was a social media consultant? Wasn't she? Was Sean a social media consultant from your season?
She was a consultant, but that's not really like that was for brands at that point for other.
Okay,
brands.
is that not what you were talking about, Tim?
No. I just simply somebody who was an instigator, an influencer, an influencer.
Yes.
An influence. I got
that's
that.
pretty much all of them.
No, I had no social media before I went on the on the show. I had YouTube, and I'd been picked up because I'd made a YouTube video about how to write a good essay, which has now got lots and lots of views, and I'm rather proud. But no, since then I've actually got quite a flourishing Instagram account.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
you follow me. I follow you too as well. So
yes,
and Alex and I are linked by social by Thingamy.
Yeah,
Instagram.
by the Instagram. And
Not by your experiences on the
never
circle.
become. I've never become an influencer on Instagram. I think it's because I can never remember what it's called. At one point I thought it was effluencer, but
I think you carry more influence than you know.
Really, I don't
Yeah.
think so. You're very kind. You're very kind. You know, I'm going. It's my birthday in about a week.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, I'm thinking of myself as turning 16, but I think I've just got the digits reversed. Yeah, I feel this last year has been a major achievement. There was a point which I really didn't think I was going to get through it, but I'm raring to go.
We're very glad that you did.
Oh, we're so happy.
We're so happy to hear that.
We were sending you out our thoughts and prayers from our podcast. Actually,
you're so nice.
Yeah.
You're so. I did get some lovely messages, and Woody was extraordinarily efficient in manipulating sort of social media, and he sent me the most lovely things. And I think one of the lovely things about the show is you do meet a great variety of people that you just don't think you'd meet in the ordinary humdrum way of life, and I value that enormously. I love people from different backgrounds. So I'm really itching to meet Elisa. I've never met a sex therapist before, not that I would admit anyway. And I just think she just looks amazing, and Brew looks fascinating. So far, I'd like to meet both of them. There we are.
I think Brew's going to be a good character. I don't know how far he's going to go.
Yeah, I don't think he's going.
But I think he is going to be a good character for sure.
Very far, but he's going to be lovely. He's going to be lovely. He already projects confidence and delight, but you need something slightly more than that. And it's not that you've got to look for the catfish. You've got to somehow project yourself through those words.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you've got to be a wordsmith, and I think a lot of the show is about how you respond, not how you initiate. It's about responding with really good quips and comments. And if you're slow, people recognize it. They see dot, 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 dot. And you think, she's now looking up what a brick costs. And so on. You know, the British girl I loved her. Which British girl I love? Chloe. Yes, Chloe. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, that's who you were talking about.
That's who I was talking about.
Okay.
Of course I was. Yeah. Apparently not enough to remember her name though. No. I can't remember anybody's name. I can barely remember my name. Yeah. There we are. Brew. You see, Brew. Love you.
Do you think Brew has a face for radio, as they say?
No, I think he's got a face.
He's a good-looking guy.
He has a face for the circle.
Yeah, look, he's lovely. Except he does look as if he's just bitten his tongue in the second picture.
That's why I picked it.
Whoops! I've just said something inappropriate.
And that's why we're going to segue on to the next person.
I like this lad.
Oh, look at this guy.
Hey, paisan.
I'm John. I'm 24 years old. I'm a social media content creator from New Jersey. I am as Italian as it possibly gets. I got a tattoo of St. Anthony on my chest. Grew up in the same hometown as The Sopranos was filmed in. I've literally grown up in a bowl of sauce.
Just watch me now.
The most popular person in every Italian family is the mom, and that's why I'm going into the circle as the matriarch, my mom, Carol.
Step back, here comes the queen.
And that's mom.
Carol. Okay,
Max, we've seen all this before, haven't we? Come on, Max, tell us.
Max, you're from Jersey.
I am
from Jersey.
I'm also from the county where The Sopranos was filmed in.
Really? So you guys are neighbors, practically.
We're neighbors. We probably grew up together.
So is this your winner pick? Is this your
Paisan? Yeah. He's got to be my winner pick.
You know,
we're blood brothers.
It's a Spice Girls theme again. I think he's going to be saying there's a lot of spicy meatballs.
Yes, that's all about. That's what they meant when they said a lot more spice.
Oregano.
Right.
Yeah. Oregano. Garlic.
No, this guy, he's fun. Reminds me a little bit of Joey, a little bit.
Absolutely.
Big Joey energy.
Big family man.
But I don't think Joey can make us a bowl of pasta like John can.
And also, I don't think Joey has got St. Anthony tattooed on his chest. Is that St. Anthony? Is it St. Anthony of Padua, or is it another St. Andrew? I would like to know about his hagiography.
That's the new word for me.
Me as well.
John, if you're in the chat,
We need to know about your hagiography.
Yeah, we do. And your graphology. I mean, we need to know more about the ink. Come on.
yeah, it's Anthony of Padua.
Is it? Can you see?
Yeah, I'm just looking it up on my phone.
I just
right.
looked.
He's
I just
got all
looked up
the details.
hagiography a definition on Google. So-
He's got all the details there.
Yeah. Expert knowledge of scripture, undying love and devotion for the poor and sick.
This is John.
That's-
He's got undying love for porn.
What? The poor. Anthony
Oh,
of
the
Padua.
poor. The poor.
Anthony of Padua. But I mean,
Right,
I
yeah,
think
no.
you get
Anthony of Padua, absolutely.
tattooed on yourself. You do have an undying love.
Is it the poor or the porn? I don't.
Both.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just sort of slightly sort of, yeah.
He was Portuguese.
Okay.
What, Anthony of
Padua for some
Padua
reason.
or John? Anthony of Padua.
Anthony of Padua.
Obrigado. Okay, right.
I'll go ahead and say I really like this guy. I really like him. John, I think one of the reasons I like him the most is because he's already shared a link to this episode on Instagram, so
really?
he's already got points from me on
Yeah,
that.
he's got to be
There
my
we
winner
are.
pick for that.
There we are.
I mean, he also, I want to tell you that he
And we
reached
love a
out-
good mama.
Yeah.
He reached out to me and he wanted me to tell everyone how much of a very great, caring, and wonderful person he is. Obviously, because it's true. I appreciate the lack of slander. So I love John.
That's amazing.
Beautiful. I think. I mean, I do think he's wonderful and beautiful. I mean, the thing is they don't cast you on this show unless you are wonderful and beautiful. That's like
Yes.
a core tenet of the casting, which is what makes the show great.
Yeah, and he projects his personality already, even in that single photograph.
Yeah.
Why are you putting your finger up like that?
It's because Max was laughing at me when I was saying everyone was charming and wonderful and beautiful.
Max and Ben, you are made for this show.
We're big rascals. That's all.
You could go in together.
Here you come telling us about how terrible the show is, about how manipulative they are, and then you're
No,
like,
And then you're
go
like, you
on
should
the
know.
show, go be manipulated.
Well, gee, Tim, it's not sounding like a real fun time.
No. I think the show as a concept is great, and but you know, the show has sort of taken a nosedive, and you could bring it back. You could bring it back up to a healthy reality.
That's right. We're going
It's
to be the
just who would
saviors.
be
Save
here
it.
to
Save it.
mock the show if we were in here? You know,
That's right.
Who-
Yeah.
Millions of people watching it from their couches.
You mean in supine position? I couldn't possibly mock the show. No.
But I have nothing but good things to say about John Franklin.
And John.
How much is he paying you, Alex? What's going on here?
Should I send him
How much
his
did he
contact
Venmo you
info?
before this?
He can contact me. In fact, all three of them can contact me. I think they've all got potential.
I want to say that
potential.
playing the Italian mom is a very funny concept.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
It's going to be very.
He's not
funny.
the only person playing a parent either.
I
on
would be
this
interested
season, I
to know:
believe.
is he going to have difficulty cooking? And is that going to reveal? That's going to show his hand, isn't it? Can he?
Yeah, how
actually
much
cook?
of a mama's boy is John Franklin?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
like does he still live at home?
Well, we did see Joey's cake decorating. It was not great.
It was not good.
So yeah, I know that stuff always doesn't pass down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
Yeah.
going to be a spaghetti challenge. I hope
There'll be
there's
a spaghetti challenge.
he can't even boil water.
Look, we all have beards. Do any of you have the same aversion to spaghetti that I have? I like spaghetti, but I would never eat it in public now because it
I
gets
don't
confused. It gets confused with my beard, and then I find it a few days later, and I think that's not me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I don't mind
this
it.
is
I
this
don't
is
care.
part
I
of
have
the
no shame.
territory with having a beard. This is
I
just
don't need to be proper. I'll eat
When my beard is
public.
very long, like a little bit longer, ice cream gives me that.
Oh no,
that-
no! Ice cream you never eat, and every so often, if people want
Ice
to
cream from a
ridicule me, they
cone,
give me
yeah.
an ice cream, and it just I should be calling Alyssa. Yeah, it's just not right. It's just not right. Let's go on. Let's go on quickly.
Okay, so John, we're feeling good about what. So Tim, you were very good at catching catfish or noticing catfish on your season.
Yes.
What can John? What should John be doing as his mom to make sure he doesn't get caught? To not falter as a catfish.
You can't avoid faltering as a catfish because it's in the territory, and that's the problem.
Sure.
You cannot avoid making mistakes, because if you could avoid making mistakes, you would be James Bond, and even James Bond makes mistakes. It's just endless. If you are good enough not to get caught as a catfish, you should be in the Secret Service.
From what I've seen on both circles, UK and US, is preparation is everything. You better be going in with a lot of notes. If, like we saw with Jack in season 3, he didn't know anything about makeup, and then he was outed completely in that one competition.
And the football, if you remember, with Freddie.
Mm-hmm.
One of the funniest moments on the show.
Yeah,
simply delightful. And of course, the thing that I had with the brick and the builder. But it was obvious to me that the point was I didn't need all that soffit stuff for me to know that this not only was not a man, but was actually his mother. It came through, and anybody who is sensitive to the reality and the sort of the rhythm that people speak in. It's not the words they say; it's the rhythm they use. I'm giving away the secret here, aren't I?
It's fascinating. I think it's good. Yeah.
And for example, I can tell when a student gives me a paper which has not been entirely written by them, I can tell the point at which it moves from what they have written to what they've copied from someone else because the rhythm changes.
Interesting.
And sometimes the handwriting changes too.
That's an interesting note. Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be really careful on a computer if you copy and paste from other sources. Often the font is retained, and so your font changes, and you think, this isn't yours.
You're certainly very
liars are lazy. That's why it's all in the L.
Well, you are certainly very perceptive. I don't know if we've had a lot of contestants on the show that have been quite as good as being a catfish hunter as you. I know Kay last season was pretty good at it to a certain point. But yeah, it's interesting that it's more than just the details. It's also, you're right. There's a vibe to it. There's a feeling, the flow of their messages. Yeah.
And you get a sort of, it's almost as if there's a ghost in the room, and you have a sense of who the person is.
Right.
And it's in your head.
Right.
Yeah. The only way you can really catfish is if they're not too far off the mark. He's facing an extra struggle because he's playing not only a woman, but a woman who is what?
Older.
30 years older than he is.
And that's difficult. He's got two problems immediately.
Yeah, it's like the only reason I had any sort of success with Adam is that, and I'm not saying I had a great success with Adam, but is that there was enough similar that I could kind of, wiggle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Alex, I have to confess, I went through paroxysms of anxiety because I could never work out whether your name was actually Alex or Adam.
That's perfect. My name is Alex.
I know.
I also made sure that I had a different name, but a similar name.
But I wish
the only Alex that's ever played the circle, right? The only one.
Yeah, only Alex ever in any iteration of any show.
Yeah.
The other Alex is lovely too. Yeah.
He is lovely.
All right, let's move on to our next contestant, who is going to be. We have here, let's see who this is.
Oh,
It is Chrissy.
What's good, y'all? My name is
Krissa.
Krissa. I'm 31 years old. I
My bad,
became the
Krissa.
13th woman to play for the Harlem Globetrotters, and now do basketball influence social media content. Playing with the Globetrotters was definitely a platform that I never knew I would have. I know where the players are cutting, who's behind me, who's in front of me. I'd like to think that I'm going to play this game like that, having that full court vision.
I like her. She's charming. She's not going to do well on this show.
Why do you
yes,
think? Why do you think?
I mean,
You cannot basketball in the circle. Like, you can
That's
basketball in the
true.
room, but you cannot express yourself through your medium of basketball on the screen. Also, athletes have historically not done great.
That's true.
She's also a team player, isn't she? And
Yeah.
this is not a team sport.
That's absolutely correct.
Yes.
You need that team sense. I mean, she and I would definitely play a very good game if we were on the original game. But now this taken this dark twist, we've gone down the sort of chute. It's all out for number one, and she's looking to support somebody else. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work in the way the game has gone now.
What
I'm
are
afraid.
the Harlem Globetrotters in the 21st century?
It's
Oh, they do
the same
tricks.
thing.
No, I know what
They spin the balls. They do the tricks.
Yes.
Weren't they a cartoon in the 1960s?
They
I
were.
remember.
Yes, they were also a cartoon.
They were charming as a
They
cartoon.
also once got stuck on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, and they hung out with Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
they've been everywhere.
Hmm.
I mean, I think this is before Chris's time,
So-
but
So, basically, they're a sort of ballsy version of the Osmonds.
I've never made the comparison of the Harlem
The Harlem
Globetrotters to the Osmonds personally.
But the Osmonds don't have balls, do they? They're not.
No, they
they're
don't
not
play
around.
basketball.
No.
they're sort of the what?
They're a traveling basketball team that does tricks.
They don't play
That's
games.
it.
And they do.
And the
they-
team,
the
they
tricks
play
are
the
thing,
same
aren't they?
team every time,
team.
and that team,
Do they?
they choreograph everything.
It's like a monster
So they're
truck
like-
rally with basketballs.
So
Yeah.
they're like wrestling.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little
basketballs.
bit like wrestling. Yeah.
Right.
It's-
I
it's-
thought they were real. I thought they were
Well,
real.
it's their skills are certainly real. They're good with their tricks and everything. They can shoot hoops.
Yes,
right?
they only play the Washington Generals.
Yes.
Do
the
they
Washington
win every
Generals.
time, the Globetrotters? Do they have like a
Yes, they win every time. I think. Yeah.
wow? That's
So
Yeah.
they are basically
Undefeated
a
record.
cartoon.
So
Yeah.
no big deal. So I mean, she has won 100% of the time. So
Well,
if
that's
she
a winner.
loses the circle, this would be the first time she's ever lost anything.
Oh,
so.
you don't lose the circle.
Wait, so
you
what
just get
happens when you
blocked.
get voted off the circle? You don't lose, Tim?
No, you go home.
Well, I haven't had that experience. So I don't know. We have to ask Alex.
Oh,
Flex, Tim. Flex.
that's true.
Alex,
yeah,
what
I don't
happens
know.
when you lose?
Krissa,
What was that?
What
Krissa-
happens when you lose? When you get voted
Well, you
off?
don't lose. You just you go home. Your home is very nice and comfortable, and
Yes.
it's
No,
less stressful to be-
losers.
It's significantly
losers.
cooler, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
it's so hot in there.
I mean, I'm
It's
also
so
not wearing a petticoat in the circle, so I have that advantage.
Look, so Krissa being an athlete.
Ben and Alex, did you ever have the Harlem Wizards come to your high school, or was that just a New Jersey thing?
That's a New
probably
Jersey thing.
That's a weird.
What-
No,
what is
they would
that?
come to our high school and they would play the teachers in basketball, and they would like do tricks like around them and like dunk
Man,
on
Jersey,
them. and stuff.
Jersey's a weird place, man.
I just
Weird.
realized that petticoat was the wrong word.
What is petty? What did you mean?
I meant like a jacket. Like
He meant
a
hamography.
vest.
Ah,
I did have
I was confused, but just going along with
Yeah,
it.
no,
Alex.
your confusion. I thought I was using a proper word, and it's not the word I thought it was. I just looked it up.
All right. Well, let's
And I want
wrap
to
up.
apologize for misusing words.
No.
Let's wrap up things with Krissa here. I think, like Alex said, athletes, they tend to overplay a little bit too much. They are. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by. My wife just commented.
They sent guys
that
that did
yo-yo
yo-yo tricks in Colorado
That's cool.
schools.
That's
better
true.
than- I mean,
It's
to
way
me,
better.
that's better than basketball.
No, but Krista, she's an athlete. We've seen people like Antonio, people like Kat. They tend to overplay, over strategize. And yeah, this isn't Survivor. It's not a strictly strategy type of game. I think you can absolutely get yourself into trouble if you are an overly competitive individual. That's
Also,
why a
she
lot
may-
of athletes haven't done
She
well.
may find she has the problem that what was his name? The lovely fellow with the two dogs, who was a gladiator.
The gladiator.
James.
Yeah, James. Yep.
James.
Right.
James. Now James's problem was that as an athlete, he goes to bed early, and you don't go to bed early on this show. You're
No,
still
you do
filming
not.
at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Although we don't have clocks, but we can work it out. because we're
Interesting.
clever.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's your circadian rhythm is thrown into chaos, and yeah.
I
A
like
lot
it. You say,
the
"What
bag
time?"
of tricks.
You say, what time is it? And somebody says, it's lunchtime. Why don't you go to the kitchen and make yourself some lunch? And
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
But yeah, and,
It's
and
bathroom
actually-
time.
Yes,
to use the
they do
toilet.
that as well. They do that as well. When I was there, they want to know what you were going to do in the bathroom, because the camera had to be revolved in various positions.
A
and sometimes
number
it's more
two.
complicated.
Yeah.
So I decided to make it very.
They asked
political.
1, 2, or 3. Yeah.
No, I thought they're not going to get any medical details from me. So it was either a Farage, which was a serious visit. He was the man who proposed Brexit. A Widdicombe, which was another slightly ridiculous lady who sort of wittered on and anyway, I think Widdicombe sounds exactly like what it is, really, isn't it? It's just a Widdicombe. It's not going to take long. And sometimes one would be in there for a while, and then one would come out and they'd say, "Was that all right?" I say, "Well, no, it was a lot of Mrs. May," which was hot air, really, wind. But I thought that sorted the problem out quite well, really. But anyway, I don't think Krissa, sweet though she looks, is going to win, and I'm really sorry about that.
I hope she forgives you. I hope she forgives you.
She will. She will, because I think she looks lovely, but I'm afraid she has to steel herself to be blocked, unfortunately. Unless she's got something hidden that we don't know about.
I think if everyone else in the circle plays for the Washington Generals, she's got a good shot at winning this thing.
No, everybody's going to know who she is. No, this is the point. She just comes across as very, very direct, and I don't get to learn much about Krissa. What I get to learn about is basketball, and I don't really have much knowledge of that. And I certainly know more about it now than I did 5 minutes ago.
Well, I hope they give her one of those little tiny basketball hoops that you could put on the door, and you get the little tiny basketball. That way we can see her spinning it and doing tricks.
Yeah.
She only
that way we
operates
get a
with
little taste of
full-size
that.
Tournament regulation balls.
Right. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know anything about basketball. Nothing but. Last time I watched basketball on the television, everybody was saying buckets. Do you know about buckets?
No.
I guess like the hoop is like it's sort of basket shape, bucket shape, and so whenever you make a hoop, it's a bucket.
Yeah.
Really, Alex, give me the Osmonds any day. I think I much prefer the Osmonds to basketball.
Guys,
Donny Osmond was in British theatre over Christmas. He was wonderful.
Chris is at a big disadvantage because she's 32 years old, which makes her the oldest cast member announced so far.
Goodness.
So
No.
Oh my! This is
you can get
really
through this
bad,
program
guys.
if you're a little older. Don't worry. Age has got
It's
nothing.
really
to do
a
with
bad. I don't know how she's going to be able to hang out with a
That's-
25-year-old.
That's
Max.
your and I's ages, Max. So
Max.
we're
I don't know
we'd
how
be in
she's
trouble. if
gonna.
we ever
How
went
is
on
she
the
going to
circle.
relate, Tim?
She
How does she
could
do it?
catfish as a 30-year-old, and then it'll make her more.
Yeah, if she catfishes 2 years younger.
My big relationship in the circle was with somebody who was the youngest. I was the oldest.
Yeah.
He was the youngest.
Woody. Yep.
And we
All
had
right,
we
if
had
she catfishes older, I think maybe she'll be able to hang out with somebody younger.
And neither of us catfished. We were both ourselves. No, the age doesn't mean a thing. Once you're communicated by text, age is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Age is irrelevant.
In the words
the
of Aaliyah,
vitality of your
age ain't
words.
nothing but a number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Beautiful.
And if you're ready to learn and to swap new ideas, that's what the circle's all about. It's at its heart. It's about learning new things, learning new tricks. Alisa, that's your number again. Right.
I don't think they'll
Tim,
be
I
able.
was just making a joke. You know?
I don't think they'll be able to relate to her. They won't know anything about the 90s or anything like that. It's going to be tough. They won't know, Hey Arnold or any of those shows. Come on. It's just not going to happen.
Let's see who the next person is.
But she looks lovely.
Here
Who's
we
this?
go.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Yu Ling, and I am 25 years old. I'm a brand marketing consultant, and I'm from San Francisco, also known as the Yay Area. So I am first and a half gen Chinese American, and because both of my parents are immigrants, they were working to make sure that there was food on the table. So I would say that I was raised culturally by like MTV, VH1.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Yuling. Okay. It
I
feels
don't
like it
know. She
got
doesn't
cut
follow
off there,
me
but
on
I didn't cut it
Instagram.
off. That's just where it ended.
Oh. Well,
She
was
doesn't
going to go
follow me back on
on.
Instagram, and she didn't respond to when I tagged her in that story about this podcast.
Wow.
I love the story about her parents.
First out.
Really?
I was
I
only saying that because she didn't comment on our post.
I don't think her pose is terribly flattering. I mean,
Oh, you mean the one with the tongue out?
well, it's the tongue. I mean,
She's from the area.
The tongue is not a flattering part of the body.
I like it. I think she's giving like very intense energy. She's trying to strike a pose.
Maybe she's been to visit Alisa. Maybe this is one of Alisa's exercises.
They did have an interesting conversation on Instagram about boric acid a couple days ago.
Has she been eating it? Has she been drinking it?
No, she's taking a suppository.
Really?
In the mouth?
And
no.
Not in the mouth.
What? I don't understand. If you're taking a suppository, what's the tongue got to do with it? Alex, I'm so lost.
It has nothing to do with the tongue.
Spill it, Alex. You have to.
Wait, so an
You're
anal
too far.
suppository?
I don't think there's any other place.
A vaginal suppository.
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh right.
Boric acid to like
We're back
bring
to our pillow, aren't we?
Prevent
Right.
yeast infections. I don't.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
really
that
know.
makes sense.
I've never tried it.
Really?
Your
You never
wife
tried
left.
it?
Hey, Gina.
I'm so lost.
I
I'm
use
so
boric
lost.
acid to kill ants in my kitchen.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, that is pretty crazy.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
It's that kind of acid. Wow, I got to learn more about this. Hi, Gina's on the pod.
God. So we tell us more about you, Ling.
So Yuling, she's a brand marketing consultant. We don't get a lot of information on these people. There haven't been like good write-ups about them. Normally we get it.
I like her bucket hat.
What's a bucket hat? Can we see her again?
I don't have the.
She doesn't have a hat on in that photo.
Oh, she doesn't have a hat on in that picture.
Mm-mm.
Some of the promo stuff, she's wearing a bucket hat, which is a
Right.
sort of.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I don't know. How do you describe a bucket hat?
Yeah. No, you can.
It's a hat that looks
I
like a
think
bucket.
at the moment it sort of describes itself rather
It
well.
kind of looks
Alex.
like a basketball hoop.
Oh dear me. She doesn't sort of. She doesn't scream out winner to me somehow. I may be misjudging her.
I think she screams. I think somebody that brings that kind of energy, though, is the type of person that can find themselves in like friendships and alliances. Though I think when you
I was
have
just gonna say that, yeah.
that forward kind of honest personality that she has, I think you can form bonds with people.
I could totally see her getting in a group.
Lisa has just said something very naughty.
What?
Oh, Alyssa says For someone who has a hard time saying vagina, Professor Tim, you have a lot of jokes about sex ed. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, you can't say vagina?
I have no idea what she's talking about. There we are. It's all education, really, isn't it?
There's some good reading
I
on,
like
on
Elisa.
learning
I like
to say the
Elisa
word vagina.
enormously.
There's some great books on it.
Yeah, no, I like Elisa. Right,
but
I
what about
don't. I
you?
don't think Yu Ling is going to be a winner at all.
I think she's got a shot.
Really?
Yes, I do. I think she's got a big personality, and if she shows that all the way, then I think that could be very beneficial for her.
I think she's gonna last 2 weeks and then be out. I think she'll make it past like that first sort of court blocking, but I think eventually she'll be sacrificial. She's maybe too big in personality.
Interesting.
Well, she's going to be in this thruple, I believe.
Oh, really? With Brew?
No, the thruple is with Brew and.
We don't know. Who is the third?
I don't know who the third is, but I know that Yu Ling says the quote, "I wouldn't want to be in a three-way with anyone else." I'm assuming that Alyssa will probably be involved because she
could just be moderating.
Oh yeah, she's probably
she's just watching.
She might be like the fluffer on the side, wearing gloves.
Yeah. Right. Fluff. When you say fluffing, you mean fluffing the pillow.
Yeah,
the vulva pillow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually look. I come back to the point that I made originally, and this is why Krista and I think Yu Ling are not calling out to me as real winning material, because I don't know anything about them from their promo. Whereas Brew and John and Alyssa, they've already given me a personality. Yu Ling told me about her parents, who of course I love, and I love that backstory, but she's not telling me about her. And Krissa, similarly, she told me all about basketball. She didn't tell me about her. And so in that very brief promo, if you can convey your personality, you have I think you have a chance of winning. If you can't convey your personality in that very brief promo, you're missing the point.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yep. Who do we have next, Max?
Let's see who we do have next. We have coming up. We have
all right.
Parker.
Hi, my name is Parker. I'm 21. I'm a student, and I'm from Miami, Florida. I am a popping bottles kind of girl. My only two personality traits really are being in a sorority and going out and partying. The circle is all about trust. If I saw a 21-year-old sorority girl, I definitely wouldn't put trust in them, especially with my pictures. And that's why I'm going in the circle as a 56-year-old guy named Paul. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. He's my dad.
Okay.
And we
Daddy
have a
issues.
picture of Paul here too. Daddy.
And there's two of them. They're twins.
Yeah, conjoined dad twins.
Conjoined dad twins.
Yeah. I didn't catch everything she was saying. I got the sorority girl, but only the second time round.
She's basically just saying that she doesn't really have a personality besides being a sorority girl that likes to party and drink, and so she doesn't think that would be a trustworthy type of person. So she's going in as her dad.
Oh, Max, you're being too cruel. Look,
that's what she said.
That's what she said.
I'm not being cruel. That's literally what she said.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't believe what people say.
She
talks about
That's
trust.
what she said.
She
I'm
talks
not
about
being
trust.
mean.
I like anybody who talks about trust. She's my favorite at the moment.
Really?
Wow.
After you had just said for the last one, you were like, I'm not seeing much personality. And then
I
she
don't
said,
like
I have
that
no
I'm being
personality.
cruel for saying what she said.
Never repeat what people say to them. It just doesn't work. People don't want
Max,
to hear
you
what they're saying.
I'm
bastard.
a delightful angel, and I'm going as my dad because I love him.
I don't. It's hard to play somebody that's not the same age and gender identity. Or
So you've got somebody's mother and somebody's dad.
yeah, what if they hooked up?
Oh yes, that would be perfect for the show.
Let's see that.
That would be perfect.
You send them both out and then you put them back in as
their child.
As their child, yes, exactly. Now that would be a nice twist. That would be
High
a nice
concept.
Twist. I think that's a twist too far, but I think that would be a. Isn't it interesting? We both had that
Tim,
idea.
you need to
Alex.
take that producer job so we can make this twist happen.
I would love to take the producer job, but only if it was a nicer show. I'm not going to endorse nastiness. I'm going to have fun, but I'm not going to endorse nastiness for the sake of nastiness. People are nasty enough as it is. We don't need to encourage it.
Yeah.
Remember when Max was being nasty by verbatim saying back what she had said?
Yeah, you don't need to make me nasty. I'm just gonna be nasty.
You're an asshole, Max.
Yeah, that's why I can't go on the circle. They're gonna make me even nastier, Tim. I can't go on that show. I'll come out a common criminal.
Well, Alyssa is sending out
her lips are
an
sealed.
emoji. What is that?
It was a
zipper. Lips are
zipper
sealed.
mouth.
Oh, I see. I don't think I've never seen that emoji before, and it's so small I can't really see. It looked as if he was sort of spitting out of his mouth.
Yeah, I don't think it's a YKK zipper. I think it's just a generic off-brand.
What's a YKK zipper?
YKK zipper.
That's a classic zipper brand, guys.
Is it really? I had
YKK.
no idea.
It's like top.
The only zipper I care about
Do you know
is
this
Adam's
because
dog. That's all I
Gina is a clothing person?
No,
You know,
I know it
YKK?
because it's like look at your jeans. Look at the zipper. Does it say YKK?
My jeans are button jeans,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Yeah,
Max is exclusively
I'm
button
going to
fly.
be honest. I haven't spent too much time looking at my
The zipper
jeans. Yeah.
Okay.
Zipper brand. Yeah. Who
I
looks at the
only use
zipper of their
YKK.
jeans?
Is this why you named Adam's dog Zipper? Is it because you have
Yeah.
this obsession with zippers?
That's the story for another day.
Okay.
The subconscious naming of Adam's dog.
I hope Adam's dog doesn't bite.
No. It's a
I've
very
always told
nice-
myself if I were to get another dog, I would name it Zipper in honor of the circle. Yeah.
I think it's very
very
nice.
good.
Yeah.
I
So this
allow
is
it.
this is interesting. She doesn't think that she has a personality, so she's going to be her dad, and she's going to try to give him a personality.
I just don't. I don't believe this. Everybody's got a personality. You just got to
Everybody
find
has
it.
a personality.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Do you know? Wouldn't it be a good idea to go in and to pretend to have a pet?
I did pretend
Oh,
to
you
have
did.
a
Of course you
dog.
did.
Yeah.
Of
No,
course
but you mean
did.
to have a
Zipper.
pet like with you?
You
Or
with you,
just-
with you,
Oh.
with
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Like a ball python or something.
Nobody's been bold enough to make that lie.
Why not? But
Well, that would be good because then everybody would come visit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
exactly. To see if your pet poodle was real.
You're actually you, but
Yeah.
they're not disappointed that you're a catfish. They're disappointed that you don't have a dog.
You don't have a pet. Yeah. And then in your reveal at the end, you say, "Well, I am in fact entirely real, but I'm afraid Goldilocks doesn't exist."
Yeah.
Like this is the weirdest catfish ever. Like you were real, but you didn't have a poodle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a poodle.
Or even better, they're a furry, and they just
What?
refer to their fur persona as
Right, their persona.
their
Uh-huh.
their persona as an animal. A furry is a human person who likes to dress up as an animal.
Oh, how wonderful!
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's curious. to see.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No,
So-
no. I'm
sometimes-
all there for them. I'm all
That
there
could
for
be
them.
what that British parliamentarian was watching.
Sometimes it's sexual, sometimes it's just
Yeah,
passing
well,
interest.
I'm sure he went through the Kleenex. Um,
Jesus.
you have to mop up after your animal sometimes.
God.
So I'm not feeling great about Parker because she doesn't believe in herself.
Okay, that's,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
she might, Max. This is the point. I think this might be one great game. So I think,
Oh,
I
she's
think you
playing.
shouldn't-
She's not just playing the circle. She's playing us too.
She wouldn't be the first person to play the circle and to play us as well.
Wow. Okay.
No, I can't believe anybody could be quite so Well, I can't believe what you quoted, so I just don't believe it.
You're an asshole, Max. Why would you do
Yeah,
that?
I'm an
So look, I think
it's more believable that I'm an asshole than she could have said that.
No,
that is kind of true.
Max, I think you're lovely. So I think you're, no.
Okay.
No, we're fine.
I think you're lovely. It's just your words are completely vile.
Hurtful.
They're
just
not
such
his
an
words.
asshole,
He's repeating
man.
what you said. But I have no idea whether I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. I think she has personality. She just doesn't want us to know what it is. I think she's a secret weapon.
My take on Parker is that she has her saving grace is going to be John. It's going to be John's catfish character. If they can link up together, I think that will be both of their saving graces going forward.
Yeah.
We have breaking news right now from Alyssa. She says she will spill one tiny secret. There is an actual animal in season 4.
Wow.
Well, I don't think it's come in with the initial cast.
I hope it was worth breaking your NDA, Alyssa. Wow.
Maybe she
could it be? Is it are all these people actually real? Are we seeing the real people, or are we sometimes seeing the catfish?
Presumably, we're seeing the real people.
The real people.
I mean, the circle can do anything to us, but
so I just don't really believe Parker. That's the problem. I don't believe that person.
I mean, we're also only hearing 10 seconds of this person. Like what we're going off.
This is who they are verbatim.
This is their whole personality.
No, Ben.
This is who they are and who they will always be.
Cruel. Nobody can do that. Come on. Let's hurry on and find someone else.
Okay.
Before we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Nope, that's her dad.
That's her dad.
we got
there's Frank. All right.
Finally.
I think Parker may have a much more interesting secret.
Yeah, I will be interested to see what
In fact,
Absolutely.
that is what I promise. Parker has a big reveal because what she's given us there is nothing. Parker has a big
What's
reveal.
going on, everybody? It is Frank. I am 28. I'm a school social worker, and I'm from Maryland. I like to call myself the big boy with a big personality. I'm fun as hell. People love me. Did I say people love me?
Well, I mean, the first thing that stands
Hell
out,
yes.
this guy he's very humble.
I like this guy. I like him. I don't care.
No, I really like him too.
I love him.
I think he's going to do very well.
I think he'll do very well.
Yeah.
I would want him to win
He seems fun.
based on those 10 seconds. I
Yeah,
like him.
he seems like a very likable character on the show. Yeah. Tim, what do you think?
I'm not sold on him, I'm afraid. Again, my criteria are not met, and I don't know anything about him. I know his job. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But people like
People
him.
like
Did
him.
he mention that people like
He told
him?
me people like him. He hasn't.
Show me people like you.
Show me.
Yeah.
Show
Don't
me.
me.
Tell.
Show me.
Yeah, you see, No. Anyway, if he's a school social worker, how did he get time out to come all the way over to England, do this show? And no. Don't believe it. Don't.
You think he's lying about his job?
No. Yes. Yes. Or being a school social worker, is that why people like him?
Could be.
I think he just has like a big personality and he's funny and maybe he is willing to.
He seems like a big rascal like us.
I like his voice. But yeah.
I mean, it's on the trailer. He was like saying funny stuff and willing to
What
probably.
was he saying? Oh, come on, tell me.
Somebody better pay their bill.
Who?
I don't know.
Is that what he said?
He said it in response to the circle being hacked in the
That's
trailer.
very threatening. What? Who's hacking the circle? The circle is hacked by its own production team.
The circle's hacking itself.
ISIS, you never know.
Yeah. Why aren't we
Anonymous,
seeing a couple coming in? By the way,
No, I'm not sure.
Could Frank be more than one person? No. No.
Looks like just him. Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
I'm pro Frank. He also on his Instagram profile says he's a licensed therapist, and again, communication.
But he doesn't communicate in that in that promo, does he? He just tells us what he does.
10 seconds, sure. No, I mean,
come on, Alyssa and Brew and John communicated, and the last group we've had haven't really communicated.
But people like him. He said it 3 times.
He said it.
Everybody likes him.
They like me. They really like me.
I like him because he told me that I like him. And that's a good start.
I'm going to start using that strategy.
He's projecting.
I'm going to start using that strategy whenever I meet people. I'm going to say everybody likes me.
Yeah.
Did I mention everybody
likes me?
Yeah. What about you? You do too, right?
I like you, Ben. You don't need to say that.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that very much.
Maybe Frank does. Maybe it works for him.
It's all right, Max. I like you more.
What?
Jesus.
That's how things work around here.
Don't worry, Ben.
All my
don't
nightmares
worry.
coming true. Good. Okay. Well, I'm glad we finally got that out there.
I will say Frank doesn't give us a lot to go off besides that we like him. You know,
No,
he doesn't give us a
he
lot
gives
to
us
talk
nothing.
about. So I will say,
Nothing.
Tim, that's a good point. Like, what is Frank really giving us to discuss?
Look, the last three are exactly. They're all alike. They're interchangeable, and we know nothing about them. The first 3, we know so much about them. This isn't in alphabetical order, is it?
Oh, maybe their professions just aren't as interesting.
I don't think the profession is what is.
No, it's not about-
I don't know. The sex therapist, that was pretty interesting.
We
Radio,
got a lot of funny
TikTok,
jokes out of that one. Yeah.
You know,
No,
interesting
it's
professions do help.
They might help, but it's Alyssa
Looking
is
like
just
Amy
vibrant,
Samberg.
and interesting in itself. You know, it wouldn't really matter what she was doing; she would find something entertaining to tell us, and that's the point.
Tim
And
is
Brew,
pandering to Alyssa
interestingly.
because he knows she's in the chat
Hmm?
down there.
Yeah, you just.
And Brew equally. He's used to holding holding the field. Is that the expression? I don't
Holding
know.
court?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's used to pumping out an image, and John similarly. I mean, John, his expression alone is sort of, you know, that photograph. Already, you want to discuss it.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, but the 3 who come after, they're sort of interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have to be won over by them. Maybe they will win me over. But at the moment, they're not making a very good start.
I hope they
That's all
win
I'm
you
saying.
over. I hope they win you over.
I'm easily won over, actually. there you are. There's
Well,
your entry.
I'm having a little trouble.
No, Ben, not at all.
Trying over here, trying.
All right, let's see who's next. Oh, look who we have here.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm 32 and I live in Los Angeles, California.
Is that
I'm
Alex?
currently unemployed, but I'm an artist and a former cheesemonger.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like I'm being razzed.
What's Raz?
Teased.
By Alex.
Yeah, I was playing Alex's intro, the original Alex. I'm gonna play the real intro.
Not
And there
Alex
you
from
are.
season 1 of UK. Alex from season 1 of US.
Was this your intro?
Yeah.
That's
and I was thinking this is so much more interesting.
We're just being goofballs, Tim. We're just goofing around.
Come on,
Right.
who is this person?
His name is Alex, but I'm gonna play his intro now.
Yeah, okay.
My name is Alex. I'm 28 years old. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I am a commercial banker. It's kind of like I'm a catfish in real life because my personal life and my professional life are very different. And this is like the ultimate game. And that's why I'm going in as Nathan. 22-year-old, fresh out of college, frat bro. He's young, fun, and hot.
And there's Nathan.
There's
he's
Nathan.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That guy is scary. No, thank you. Please take it down. There we go. More my speed.
So this guy also hosts a podcast. I think it's called what is it? Dudes Watching Cartoons. So
It's
he's
two
dudes watching cartoons. Two guys watching.
dudes watch cartoons.
Two dudes
Two
watch
dudes
cartoons.
watch cartoons.
Okay.
And so I think that's what he's talking about. He's like, I'm a banker, and I think he's also a big reality TV fan too. So I think he's like, yeah, I'm a banker, but like in my personal life, you know, I'm a more fun kind of guy. Like I'm not this kind of like uptight banker type.
It sounds
of
like
person.
he's a real reality junkie on.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's wearing a
thought of
Hawaiian
bankers
shirt.
as very exciting.
What'd you say?
I've always thought of bankers as very exciting.
Yeah. Whenever I go to the bank, I get very excited just to talk to a banker. Sometimes I just walk up and I just hand them bank deposit slip, blank.
I get excited for the little dum-dum suckers that you get.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a sort of Mary
Personally.
Poppins moment for me. I think, ooh, going to the bank.
Isn't every moment Mary Poppins moment in the UK?
It really is. It really is. Like, you've now put your finger on the whole.
There are
the
always
whole-
chimney sweeps and shit.
around every corner. Every corner.
Tim doesn't drive. He rides around on an umbrella floating down from
Right.
the sky.
Well, that's
really
what we
don't-
thought
I
all
really
British
don't
people
drive.
do. Yeah.
Just
You've got
imagine
quite
like
a lot of that
animated.
correct.
Whenever I was in London, I just saw animated fucking penguins everywhere. It was cool.
Oh, I was working my backside off to produce those for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's well, I warmed to him a lot more until he showed me the photograph at the end, and I don't know. I'd be a bit frightened by his alter ego. I think I'd be a bit intimidated because he looks quite sort of fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah, the photo that's put
Yeah.
up.
The man he chose to catfish as is something.
Yeah, I mean, Alex,
It's a
when
choice.
you was your first profile photo that you chose, it was the one with Zipper with the dog, right? For
yes,
Adam?
I think so.
See, that was, even though like Adam's character was a lot more like buff and broy, whatever, you sort of gave him this likable sort of image of like he's a dog lover, he loves animals, and I think that may have helped ease you into it. How do you think this is going to work with it, assuming that is the profile picture?
I mean,
that
we have
this
no
Alex
idea
is
what
in
he's
with?
going to lead with. No, I don't think anybody sensible would lead with that picture of that young man.
There were a few pictures. I just chose the funniest one.
Oh, okay. I see. So he
But
might
they were
not have
all.
chosen
The
that
guy
picture.
is like pretty like intense. He's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Adam was a warmer kind of choice.
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is when I went in, I had problems securing my catfish. So ultimately, Netflix handed me a binder full of men and said, pick a man that you want to be Adam.
Mhm.
And so I had options that were sort of like Nathan that I said no, because he wasn't soft enough,
Sure.
which just seemed like. But I don't know. Maybe this guy could do it with him. I like this guy. I like his strategy. I hope he does better than I did.
What do you think about being replaced by Bizarro Alex or Alex
I'm okay with
2.0?
Well, yes, there's three Alexes now. Aren't
Yeah.
there?
Yes, Alex 3.0.
They're
One
all
of you
catfish.
is going to have to be Alexander the
They're
Great.
all catfish. That's
They're
right.
all
Wow.
catfish.
Yes. Yeah.
Two are literally the same catfish.
He looks kind of
Yeah.
like you.
Do
He
you have a side by side?
He dresses like you, but more tame, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a lot tamer than you. I guess he doesn't really dress like you.
He knows how to brush his hair. I don't know how to brush my
Yeah.
hair.
And you said you were unemployed, and he is employed in your
Yeah,
intros.
that is maybe that's the winning component.
He never mentions that he was a cheesemonger before either. He says he's a banker. You never said
That's
anything
his
about being a
one-
banker.
I did not say I was a banker. No, that is correct.
Yeah.
I'm not very good with finances.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of differences. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he seems fun. He seems like he could be pretty strategic in the game. It'll be interesting.
Do you think we'll ever hear him say,
I love my nipples?
do you think he'll say that quote?
Did I say that?
To Tim's face, hand over his face.
Yes, you did. It was. I think it was in reference to what's his face, Bill's painting of you.
Oh yeah.
He said, "I love my nipples."
Well, I hope there's a painting challenge this season.
There will be. There will be.
The best challenge, really.
Those are fun. They're very.
I know.
funny.
Didn't you have a cake making challenge?
I was not involved in the cake making challenge, but there was.
I loved the cake making challenge.
Yeah, they're always good.
Those
They're
are
so
fun.
fun.
Yeah. And we what else did we have? I can't remember. Painting, caking. We had to make a we had to mix alcohol and make a cocktail, which was fairly hopeless. I don't know whether that actually aired.
I don't think that aired.
Yeah, I worked on that very hard, and there were some others. I don't remember what all the games were. There was quite a lot of dancing games.
Were the cocktails sent to each other?
No, but I did make a cake which was sent to somebody.
Oh, that's funny.
And we sent birthday cards to various people, which I think might have been a mistake because you can identify people's writing.
Right, I remember that. Yeah, from your season.
Graphology is a very, very interesting study.
So how do we think about Alex 3.0's chances of winning? I mean, he doesn't have a very strong personality right off the case, but also I'm not feeling this catfish, so
Max,
fierce.
you see, this is why you're so good. This is
better than me.
No, but you're just waiting for your time.
Tim, I love you.
Don't worry, Ben. It'll come. It'll come.
How do I?
No.
How do I remove Tim from?
Please don't. Ben, you've just made me feel relevant again, and there you are. You're now plotting my exit. No, look. The point is,
I've changed your name on the.
Have you? No. Oh, Ben. No, I love you, really. No, I'm afraid I think that Chrissa, Yuling, Parker, Frank, and who is this last person? I can't remember his name. Alex. I think none of them have got winner written across them. Whereas I think Alyssa, Brew, and John are serious contenders.
I don't know.
That's my opinion.
I think a gentleman named Alex going in as the hot guy is a winning ticket.
Are you possibly biased?
Maybe a little bit. But
Maybe a little.
I'm rooting for this guy.
Are you biased, or do you have a sort of desire to be eclipsed? There is only one Alex in my life. There you are. You've seen.
But he's also interested in animation. So
this man.
He has an animation podcast. He talks about animation.
Yeah, but he calls them cartoons. I can't take that seriously. I can't. Two dudes with cartoons.
So pretentious about animation. Wow.
Well, I do it. Max, you've gone down immediately.
So it really breaks down.
There we go, Tim. Now we're getting somewhere.
Can you change my title again?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Well, out of that lot, I feel there's already. Thank you. You're very kind. You're very kind. My title is getting bigger and bigger.
It's just going
less mean than before. Professor Tim is now
what?
Tim's title.
No, I can't remember. Somebody said, "I'm just telling it as it is," and I do hate that expression. But frankly, these last four, I just don't think they're having a very good edit of their basic promotion video. That's the problem. We're judging this on that 10-second gap, on that 10-second promo.
Yes.
And the three who actually make the grade are the first three: Alyssa, Brew, and John. And the rest of them are also Rams.
I think one of our listeners, Jordan, who has commented in the past many times, I think he knows Alex IRL in real life.
Like IRL?
I think.
Wow.
But he says he's very, very, very strategic. Playing a muscle bro might help him hide that better. I don't know.
We'll have to see.
Well, three veries are very, very convincing.
Yes, indeed.
You know, people really, really like me. Did I say people like me?
They really, really, really
like me. You see that?
Well,
that's what,
more than they really like Frank.
Yeah.
Impossible.
No. Frank has got that liking market sewn up really. But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced by the last four at all. And I could be proven wrong. I've not listened to them even textually. I've only got 10 seconds.
The show does a good job of like proving you were wrong. It's like when you watch the first season of US Circle, it's like when Joey's introduced, I don't think anybody likes Joey, but by the end when Joey is winning, everybody's definitely rooting for Joey.
Sure.
I mean, to an extent. Nobody's upset that Joey wins.
He becomes more and more likable throughout that season.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's like they definitely do a lot of shaping, especially because the way they film this is all at once. And then they edit it, whereas the UK was edited as it went, and you can't really make the same arcs in quite the same way. So
exactly. I mean, the production crew are to a certain extent going along with the decisions that are being made, but they can influence those decisions.
Oh, for sure, and they
do
probably do.
I have no idea.
Allegedly, they might.
Allegedly.
We don't know this for sure, but
you know, they can prompt maybe, but they can't. They can't determine what's going to happen.
All the words you choose are your own words. Nobody's making you say anything.
So
I don't remember saying anything that wasn't something that I'd actually said.
We've
got somebody else.
Howdy. Here we go.
Like her
Let's hear
immediately.
from Rachel.
Howdy, I'm Rachel. I'm 29, and I'm a paranormal researcher from Houston, Texas. Let me do that again, not laughing at myself and my career.
I like her.
Having paranormal experiences as a kid allowed me to open up that part of my brain, and now it remains open. Growing up as a Jewish chubby kid, nobody told me that I was a dweeb, so I have grown up my entire life thinking that I'm just the coolest.
She's got winner written all over her, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think she'll do. I am confused about that last part. So because she was Jewish and chubby, no one made fun of her. That gives you a pass. That I didn't know that was true. I thought,
what's a dweeb?
What?
What's a dweeb?
Oh, it's like
kind of like
nerd.
a dork or geeky person, maybe.
So like no one made fun of her. Where did she grow up? That sounds amazing. Seems like a good place to raise kids.
And it's obviously rubbed off on her. She's wonderful. I adore her immediately.
She is. Yeah.
I like that she brings an accordion with her.
Yeah, she brings an accordion.
I'm interested in this plot arc.
Yeah, we can hopefully see her covering some Weird Al songs at some point.
Yeah.
Be great.
Maybe some originals.
Yes.
She messaged me on Instagram saying, "Tell them I'm a monster." And then I said, "A literal monster, more of a mummy, or a Godzilla?" And she says, I'm a skunk ape.
What's a skunk ape?
It's
A skunk ape. I had to look this up. It's
like
a Floridian style swamp monster.
Yeah, it's like Bigfoot. You know Bigfoot,
Yeah.
Jim?
No, yeah.
Yeti.
So it's
like the Yeti.
It's one of the ones that actually exists, but not. Yeah, it's not a fantasy. It's a real.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it one of those things which occurs in Princess and the Frog?
I don't think there's a skunk ape in Princess and the Frog. That's Louisiana. That's a different swamp.
It's like let's put this in UK. It's more like the Loch Ness.
Wait, are you actually?
monster, right?
Did you actually think that the skunk ape exists? Or...
Yeah, it's kind of like the Jersey Devil.
Oh yeah, you're right. It exists. Okay.
It's the same thing.
Can't go
Well, I
one
mean,
pot.
I'm
Can't go
looking
one
at a
podcast
I
without
have
the
a
Jersey
I have a
Devil
ghost
popping
in my
up.
house.
You have a ghost?
Yes, I have a ghost in my house. Maybe now what's her name again?
Rachel.
Rachel. Maybe Rachel can help me.
Yeah.
Because my ghost wakes me up at 2:30 every morning, sometimes 2:45, and then I'm awake until about 3:45, and it really disturbs my sleep.
Oh, wow.
I want to hear about the paranormal experiences she had as a child that opened her to experiences for
That
the
is
rest
the
of
point.
her life.
You want to know more about her, don't you?
She met Vince.
Yes.
She
met Vince from last season.
when she was a child, and now her life.
Then
has
she
changed.
saw him on the circle, and it was a sign to come back
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Yeah.
So you see, I think out of everybody, she is sort of, she's made us my name's changed again.
You just noticed that?
Well, I was so
Professor
taken
Kim
with
Jong
Rachel, I
Ben.
didn't notice what had happened down there. But I'm I'm so delighted. I'm so delighted that I've become Team Ben. Sorry, Max. Sorry,
it happens.
Don't be sorry.
I know.
Don't be sorry.
But no, look, I want to know more about. I want to know more about Rachel immediately. I'm really excited about Rachel. I think. I don't think she's necessarily going to be a winner, but I think she will be sitting at that final table.
I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Because she's vibrant, she's going to be everybody's friend. Now, I'm interested about your skunk ape. Is that what it's called?
I mean, these are her words. She said she's more of a skunk ape.
I'm interested about that because I think if she's saying that she's got a mean streak, it doesn't come across at all.
I mean, I think this is the language of a winner.
Alyssa has commented and says, "Yes, very true. For instance, I am actually insufferable."
What is this very true about?
Maybe that Rachel's a skunk ape.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is language of a winner. A skunk ape would win the circle.
Yeah.
It's
That's an interesting point.
great raising
No,
confidence.
no, Alex. In the end, the circle is won by somebody who people sort of like.
At this
People
point,
sort of
yes.
like the skunk ape. People like mythological, but yet probably real creatures.
Yeah,
Definitely real.
Look, Vince
Look, Rebecca comes across. There's a likability there. There's a likability in Brew. There's a likability in John and in Alyssa. It doesn't matter what they say to sort of put us off the scent. I just sort of I sniff success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I want to know more about Rachel. You want to delve into her history. We want to see her on the show. And if I was on the circle, I'd be like, I want to have a private chat and talk to this person.
Yes.
I want to be her friend, you know? And she radiates honesty. She's like, oh, I'm laughing about my job. Let me start over.
Oh,
I don't want
isn't
to
that
do
superb?
Yes.
I think that's probably the best intro I've ever come across.
Yeah. Her job is a great conversation starter too. I think there's going to be a lot of curious people wanting to ask questions, wanting to if people are believers of the supernatural like that, then they're going to be wanting to say, "Oh, I've had a ghost experience." Like, look at Vince last season. Everybody was coming to him right away and being like, "I had a paranormal experience at this point or that point." Blah blah blah. It's a conversation starter. It gets the ball rolling. She's got an advantage Just
Who was it in the first season? I think was a fortune teller. And I think
Season 1 of UK.
Season 1 of UK, and I think he didn't realize he didn't
Oh,
manage
Ryan.
Ryan, yes, and I think he had a rather bumpy ride.
Yeah, he was in and out. I mean, he also like voiced support of Nigel Farage.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
on
that
the
was
show.
that was that was
which
a
is
foolish
like you
thing
don't
to
do that. Like
No,
if you're gonna talk
no.
politics, don't talk right-wing politics.
Yes, Farage, as we know, is a euphemism for visiting the loo, and some people are full of it. Sorry.
Yeah,
Farage.
Ryan the psychic. Forgot about that guy.
What? Yeah,
I forgot about
and I think she stands a very, very good chance.
I think so too.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I like her.
I'm pleased to see her after that string of people who they've just not made the most of this opportunity, or maybe they've been badly edited.
That's definitely a strong possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it is 10 seconds again.
But if somebody is badly edited at that point, that doesn't commend itself to the other people in the show. So they can't pick up on any, they're already starting at a disadvantage. If somebody's got a really good promo and a good photo, they're away. They're away. And the good photo is not about being likable, it's about being interesting. You want to know more.
Yeah.
You do want to be so vaguely likable. I mean, you don't want to be unapproachable.
Sure.
I'm afraid. Is it Frank? It's not Frank. It's who's the banker boy?
Alex.
Alex. I can't remember his name. This is the problem. He hasn't made enough impact on me to realize.
When in doubt, the name is Alex.
Yes.
Well, the problem is his alter ego is terrifying.
Max chose the most terrifying photo.
I mean, and what's he holding up? It looks like a packet of cigarettes. I'm this big.
It's a cell phone with a weird case.
Oh, it's a cell phone, right? Yeah.
But you could probably grate some cheese on his abs.
Yeah, he's too scary.
No, I don't think you'll get anywhere near him.
Alex, is that all you think about is cheese?
Grating cheese on rock hard abs.
You cheesemonger, you.
It was another life.
Yeah.
Just get him up on the screen.
Get.
And why would you take a photograph of yourself for the Circle in a bathroom? It's sort of it's disturbing. This is where I live.
This is where I live. The gym bath.
Look at my home and weep. I don't need so many clothes in here.
Yes, that's what he wants people to see as his home. Yeah.
Yeah. Specially decorated.
Right.
Well, I think this has been quite an amazing assessment of the cast.
We made it 2 hours. It's wild.
Have we? Oh, I'm so sorry. We've gone on and on and on.
No, don't be sorry. This is amazing. Tim, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. Thank you so much.
I do hope you'll have me back again, but I hope I haven't disgraced myself.
Tim, you've been amazing. It's been an honor to have you on the podcast. So thank you.
Yeah,
I'm here too.
And
No,
Alex,
Alex,
you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Alex, it is always a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Always.
An honor, Professor Alex. Team Den.
There we are. I notice a sort of bias creeping in here, but anyway, no, it really is lovely being here, and it's lovely to sort of come back and think there's going to be another Circle, and to see, can this be done? Can this be done right? Have they got enough people there that they don't need to invade the property with production gimmicks?
I don't think it's going to be as cruel as the last season. I don't think not. I don't think that really, like the orange blue Tally Michelle's really played well with much of anybody.
Right.
No, I thought hello. No, I think Anyway, if it's nicer, maybe I'll ask for I'll ask for payment. But
just send them an invoice.
I'll send them an invoice. I'll send them an invoice. You made it nice. Thank you. Took my advice. But no, I fear we're probably going to have more of the same. But I hold out hope, because I think at heart it's a lovely show, and I was really proud to be part of it while I thought it was sort of nice.
Yes, your season was very sincere, very sweet, very genuine.
Yeah.
I felt that a lot about UK season 1 as well, definitely. So yeah.
But I know the American thing is very much you've got this sort of Survivor strategy thing going through, and it's
we
been
really
explained
like
to me a lot, and I sat watching series after series of Survivor, saying, "Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this," and I thought, I'm just a moaning Minnie, really, and this is just the way you do things in the US. And then I thought, no, actually, I've met so many of these people, and they at heart there's something else, and and what I'd like to see is the contrast between somebody who can do interesting strategy and is perhaps a lovely person, or somebody who is a horrible person and does dreadful strategy, or whatever. I want to see that sort of contrast.
I will say, I thought James, the winner of last season,
wasn't he lovely?
He fit those categories. I thought he was strategic, but he was also a great person, a funny character. He really checked off all the boxes for me, at least. Yeah.
And I thought Joey did a fine job, really.
Yep.
But you know, I think really in the end, you're measuring yourself. If you're going to catfish, you're measuring yourself against Alex, and it's a really tough job.
Yeah,
it's a really tough job, because you're spending a month of your time being somebody who you aren't, and that's really difficult, and it eats into your psyche. And a month of your time being who you are, yeah, that's difficult as well, because it's not really entirely who you are. It's a larger version of yourself. It's a television version of yourself, and that's difficult as well. So, so the whole thing puts a lot of pressure on you.
I have to interrupt. If you get kicked off after a week, you don't have to worry about being somebody else for a month. It's just that week.
Well, you still have to wait around to get in there in the first place.
Yeah.
You came in late, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Mid-season.
Yeah, and that's difficult if you come in mid-season. Unless you've got a really good story, you don't stand a chance.
Well, it's not so much the story; it's about the bonds that you're able to make.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I really don't think so. I think that's Survivor, and I think the circle is different. It is possible. You see, you don't necessarily need all that many bonds. You just need to make sure you're always second in people's lists.
Interesting.
That incidentally is how Paddy won. He was second in everybody's list. And that's a winning formula.
Sure.
Being somebody's big buddy is not a success. Is not a way to success in the circle from a strategic point of view.
Yeah.
But
it certainly helps
taken
you.
down.
There's not a chance in hell you would have ever let Woody leave that show if it was in your control.
No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have let Ella leave the show, except I was told I couldn't. I couldn't. I was told I couldn't vote myself out, so I had no choice. I did try and vote myself out.
Yeah.
And the show had to stop for a little while they worked out whether or not that was against the rules, and they came back and told me I couldn't do that. But yeah, I think I think it's tough. You have to. I think part of the circle is about maintaining the circle. If you try and maintain the circle, you're going to have an interesting game, because there's always going to be tension there, and all you have to do then is play that tension. And an audience is seeing something else. An audience is seeing what you can't see, and that's funny, and that's interesting, and that's dynamic, and a really, the Circle production team is really the best in the business. They know exactly what they're doing. I just wish they wouldn't play these stupid games, because they're not necessary. It's probably easier if they play the games.
It's surefire and guaranteed, because they're in control of that.
But it's then boring. actually.
In a way, sure.
And what is extraordinary is when you put real people there, they're going to do something unexpected, and that's interesting. And certainly that's why I would watch a game like why I'd watch a show like The Circle. So
Sure.
I live in sort of optimism. I hope it's going to surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow when season 4 premieres.
Have you noticed, Max? If you look at all our visuals, you and Ben are incredibly bold and strong. Alex, of course, is framed with a quilt of diverse sort of fiery color, and I look completely washed out.
No,
I really
Tim.
do. I think it's my lighting. I don't think it's reality. But
You look great.
No, you can't see a difference between me and between the beard and the sort of whiteboard behind
You need
me.
a little more contrast.
I need a little more.
You could put a green screen behind you and then put space behind you, and then it's like you're on the moon. You could do that.
Yeah, I think if you put green screen behind you, I was told not to put green screen behind me when I did things, because people would take the picture of you and then put you in strange places.
That's true. They will do that.
I maybe I should always be putting a green screen behind me then.
Alex.
Me
no, yeah.
and I don't know
Yeah.
where I'd be.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have to wrap this up now. But guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank
everyone,
you.
everyone
We're so
listen-
appreciative of your
thank
time.
You.
Yeah.
Everyone
Thank you for
listen to
having
this.
me and us, I imagine, but I can speak for me.
Of
Yes.
course,
Thank you very much.
can find Tim and Alex on Instagram. Please follow them. You can also follow us on Instagram, and please follow us at Reality Alert Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Reality Alert _. Please subscribe to us on YouTube at Reality Alert. You should also subscribe to Tim's Instagram. Tim's YouTube. That would be great. Very much appreciated. Tim Wilson,
Professor Tim Wilson. I think there's some hyphens there somewhere or something.
Yes, Professor Tim Wilson. Please do that. And definitely get ready. We will be covering the premiere live around 3 p.m. Tomorrow, Wednesday, of The Circle. We're doing the first episode tomorrow live on YouTube and Twitch. This is Reality Alert. And Ben, anything else?
No, stick around in a little bit because we're going to cover episode 3 of 90 Day Fiance. So if you watch that show, stick around for that.
More podcasts coming out today. So once again, thank you so much, and we'll see everyone real soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your two best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert.